we're here today. I've brought you, us. At least half of you will probably be interested in the topic that I'm talking about today. And that topic is the Kakegurui live action from 2018. I think a year after the anime came out from my limited research. And I just finished it, and I have a lot of thoughts and opinions and feelings. This will be slightly different than my breakdown of Bet. I'm not going to be talking about it episode by episode because of the way it is. It's much more of a direct adaptation than Bet is, which means that if you've watched the anime, the first season of the anime, you've basically watched almost all of Bet. Almost all of Bet is crazy. If you've seen the anime, you've basically watched the live action. They do change things, and just to get this out there, the live action, it's infinitely better than Bet. The question of is it better than the anime? You would think the answer would be no, right? And the answer is some episodes are honestly better than the anime. I've also seen a few comments that are like, you'll be back for season 2. And I have been thinking about it. I'm like, man, this Bet video has actually been my best performing video so far. And just content wise, it would make sense for me to watch season 2. And at that point, it would be a hate watch because I would go into it already not liking it. The idea of that just like makes my brain so tired. I don't know how people do it because I honestly don't think I can. I went into Bet wanting it to be good. I don't watch things or engage with media because I don't like it from the start. Like, it makes sense content-wise. Watch season 2 of Bet, but each episode is gonna be an hour long and it's gonna be at least 10 episodes. I would rather sleep for 10 hours straight, I think. I don't think I can. I've never done that, and I don't think I can start for Bet season 2. I'm sorry. I really don't think so. But the point is, I got distracted. That happens a lot. Hey, welcome. Get used to me going off on random tangents and then my brain is like lassoing itself to bring me back on topic. So this will contain spoilers, obviously. Just a quick overview of Kakegurui, the anime. For people unfamiliar and people returning that don't remember my explanation, Kakegurui, it's a gambling anime. Basically, the students at Hayako Academy, gambling is everything. The whole school is decided by gambling. Like, if a student wins, they have the potential to become part of the student council or even become the president of the school. Ryota has been going to the school for a while and he becomes a house pet. And what a house pet is that when you lose enough money, when you're in so much debt to the school, they basically take away your rights to be a human being. It's like the school is self-contained and also they're not forcing you to be there, like students willingly enroll to be a part of the system, because if you win, if you get to the top of the system, you get to rule over others. You basically get free reign to do whatever you want to house pets. And that's sort of what happens. Like, the academy is sort of one big social experiment, at least to the president, Madam President. She basically instituted this system. They're also teenagers. When they're at the top, they tend to look down on others and feel powerful and feel like they have power over others. And it's that type of school. And Yumiko is a newcomer to the school. Not only is she extremely good at gambling, but she's also very good at getting into the heads of her opponents. It's basically real life rules, like as long as you don't get caught, or as long as no one calls out your cheating, you can cheat as much as you want. The school is full of higher society children, like children with money to throw around like that, which is, I think, the briefest explanation that I can give. The show has 15 episodes, and those episodes cover the majority of the events of season 1. Not up to the end, because they don't get to the president's gamble with Yumiko. It covers up to her gamble with the student council accountant, Manuda. They also take Kirari's speech from episode 12 and put it in there at the end. And there's also this weird plot at the end with Mary, or Mary. Her name is M-A-R-Y, but they change it. They spell it M-E-A-R-I. I was gonna say it differently for this video, but I don't think I can. It sounds different in my head, but like my mouth can't do it. Anyway, it's sort of a mixed bag-ish, but some of the things that are mixed about it is not the show's fault. Just for an example, there's an idol arc where Yumiko goes up to this idol who goes to the school. She attends the school, but she was sort of made by the school. She wouldn't have her career as an idol if she didn't have her connections to the academy. But basically, this idol returns from idling, I assume. She's basically given the task of destroying Yumiko. But that's not the point. The point is, the idol arc is the worst arc in season 2 because the subtitling, I don't know what happened in that year, 2018, 2019. Well, the pandemic, I guess. I have never seen a Netflix show where the subtitling is straight straight up wrong. There's this character, Runa. At one point, the subtitles, like it says the character name and like her position in the student council. And at one point, her name is wrong. Like if I didn't know her name, like I took a double take at that because I was reading it and I was like, who is this? Who are you talking about? Like the subtitles under her name said Luna. And it's like, how does this happen? It's straight up wrong. And also, there's a lot of singing in Japanese in that episode. And the episode was made worse because only like the first song is subtitled through. And the rest of the time, you're just staring at the character singing. I'm just like, okay, I can't follow along with any of this at all. Thanks, I guess, for not including subtitles here. They sing the title song. It's not like just 30 seconds of the intro. It's like 2 minutes. 2 minutes of staring at this character and not being able to follow along with a single word that she's saying. I'm sure it's gonna be on screen. Editor Mia's got it. For some reason, someone dropped the ball somewhere. I have seen it on Netflix where they change the meaning of lines. It's not misspelled. Or if it's misspelled, it's caught and changed very quickly. But this has been up since like, what, 2019? The ball was dropped so hard that the lack of subtitles and also the plainly incorrect subtitles makes that arc such a drag and so much worse. Like it's just way worse than it needs to be, and it's not the fault of the show at all. Netflix seems to want to invest in the series by the fact that they picked that to Americanize. So it's really weird that they treated, I don't know, maybe no one has looked at it since 2019 and no one did a second glance at it. Characters will be talking and it's subtitled and that's fine. And then a character starts singing, nothing. And I'm just like, okay, I love just staring at a screen, I guess, not knowing what's going on. And literally it's the only arc, then again, it's the only arc with characters singing. 3 out of 5 episodes of season 2 are just bad, but not due to the fault of the show. I think the anime during the idol section does have, that I'm vaguely remembering, that one of the songs aren't subtitled, but it's not that long. So it's like, okay, that's annoying, but it's also like not that big of a deal. But Yumemi sings that song multiple times, and it's not subtitled a single time. So I'm just like, should I go into Netflix and turn on subtitles? Will that fix it? But also, it's been automatically subtitled, so why would I have to do that? There's another line when she's, I think it's during her gamble with Midari, where the sentence is just grammatically incorrect. And I forgave it because that was the first time that had happened. And I was like, you know, Japanese is a hard language to translate. I understand. But then it's like, you're just misspelling names in season 2 of a show. It's not the first time she's been on screen. How are you misspelling her name? Netflix has different translators. Like, I've never seen that before either. I don't watch a lot of shows in different languages. Sorry, call me uncultured, whatever. Like, the translators seem to translate like 3 episodes at a time and then they pass on the torch. Actually, the first time I saw that was at the end of episode 8. So I think someone translated like the first 8 episodes and then they did like 3 episode handoffs. But whoever did the idol arc was just like struggling. They were like, you know what? I only took like 2 courses of Japanese. Surely they won't notice if I don't translate any of the songs. Surely. If they only sang for like 30 seconds, I'd get it. But they sing for a long time. But there's the idol arc. I guess I don't have to talk about it. The thing about this show is the first 7 episodes, and I'm going to be honest with you here. I don't want to say bad because they're not bad. It's just that the first 7 episodes are worse than the anime. But then I blazed through the rest of it because it just felt like a different director took over episode 8, 9, and 10. Those episodes are the best episodes of the season. And I would argue, I would actually go to bat for these episodes because these episodes are better than the anime. I didn't read the manga, so I'm not going to get into that conversation, but these episodes are better than the anime. These episodes take some of the elements from the anime and expand on it. Maybe they're adapting more manga content, I don't know. But like episode 8, I really love the directing style of episode 8 because it's like putting 2 opposing characters side by side and they're sort of having the same exact thoughts about the person, either the president or Yumiko. Like, I really like the directing style of these episodes. And it's very different from the rest of the season, which makes me think it had a different director. Unfortunately, I wish there was an English translation for the credits, but no, it's too hard. I know it'd be way more work, but I feel like giving them credit to an English-speaking audience should be standard. Maybe I'm weird. Episode 1 of the show is Mary and Yumiko's rock, paper, scissors gamble. She has just transferred to the school, and Mary's like, fresh meat. And she finds out that this fresh meat has spikes. And they do this thing, you know, in anime, time stops as the character thinks to themselves. The way that they do it in this show is very theater kid style, which made me think that the director was a theater kid. You know how in a play, when they start singing a song or something, but no time has actually passed, the spotlight focuses it on them, and then they sing for like 3 minutes, and then they go back into position that they were before they started singing. That's basically what happens. Like Mary, when she thinks that she has Yumiko backed into a corner, everyone in the room freezes, and she gets up and she has her monologue, and it's very theater acting if you look at it like that. What made me recalibrate the level of theater kid that this show was in episode 2, it shows how Kirari became the student council president. She gambled the last student council president and they lost. And then they immediately, without hesitation, run towards the nearest window and leap out. And I was like, okay, recalibrating the drama. I understand what type of show I'm watching now. And they also removed all of Yumiko's Yuri scenes. They literally took out all her scenes and absolutely nothing about her character changed. Like they managed to capture, the actress for Yumiko does a really, really good job. The actress really, really gets into the role of showing how just insane Yumiko is. And Yumiko is insane. She gambles because she loves gambling. She doesn't love the thrill. That's a misconception that Midari has. She loves gambling for the sake of gambling. She is a compulsive gambler. There's a character that's basically made to be hated. His purpose in the show is to be so hated that it's so satisfying when he loses. And they basically expanded his role in the show where he's also Ryota's bully, and they upped his bullying because he bullies Tsubome way more in the show than he did. But he didn't have that much screen time. Like they just checked all the boxes to make sure you ultra hate him. And Ryota. Let's talk about Ryota. I like Ryota in the anime. I don't like him much here. And the problem is, for some reason, they made him so obnoxious that he actively drags the show down. It's like the show kind of thinks you're stupid. It's not even his screaming that gets to me. Yumiko will place a bet of 10 million, and then the camera will cut to Ryota, and he's like, oh, does she know that that's 10 million? That's a lot of money. Like, brother, yes. And then she will lose that money, and then the officiator or maybe her opponent will be like, you just lost 10 million yen. And he'd be like, oh, she lost 10 million yen. Yes, I promise you I'm paying attention. And it happens for 7 episodes straight. That's what makes it so unbearable. But like, Yumiko, you're making another big bet? Does she know how much money? She's betting 10 million. Brother, I'm following along with the game, I promise you. I promise you that I'm following along with the game. The more that I think about it, it is so annoying. Yes, I promise you that I did see that she lost that amount of money. I promise. Like, it's every time the amount of money changes, it has to pan to him for a reaction shot. And that's what makes me so mixed about this show, because those episodes are made much worse by his injections and him constantly feeling the need to reiterate what just happened to the audience. I don't know what was going on with the writing of Ryota. It was so unbearable that I went back to the anime and I watched like half of that episode, and he's not like that there.
I can't just win the game the regular way. That would only bore me, and boredom just leads to stress. Stress is the sworn enemy of beauty. This is life or death, and I will quite literally kill you.
5 chips on 8 spots. She wouldn't have to bet all of them to knock Yumiko down to 0, though.
30の
外れた。西のトーニーさんはアップで16隣17アップで1枚当てただけでも3000万円だぞ。
惜しいさあ次に行きましょう。
ダメだゆめこダメだ。帰ろう。帰っておやつ食べよう。こんな常識外れの金額のギャンブルを。
残念ながらそれはできませんわ。
he also interrupts the game. He gets into the middle of them to make these comments. When he stops screaming all the time, he's actually a very good Ryota. Let me set up the scenario for you. So Yumiko has 30 chips. She has 30 chips max. And then she decides, because she's insane, to bet 20 chips on one big gamble. Can you guess what Ryota says after she did this? That's almost all her chips. Yeah, I didn't notice. I wasn't paying attention to the game. I was actually watching this in the background with my eyes closed, facing the wall. I don't understand. But honestly, episode 8, 9, and 10 are actually so good that it honestly redeems the first 7 episodes. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't redeem them, but I'm glad I got through those episodes to watch it, if that makes sense. 8 out of 15 episodes are good. 3 out of 15 are like great. I count the idle episodes are good because it's not the show's fault. It really isn't. Episode 8 is the best episode of the series, easily. In the anime, Itsuki, who is Nail Girl, Yumiko has a bet with her and she loses. The show actually shows her trying and become a part of Yumiko's social group. Maybe I'm just not remembering it from the anime, but I feel like Itsuki kind of just appeared in their social group because she lost and she was added to the harem around Yumiko. She was kicked off of the student council, but I don't feel like she had that much of a transition from that to sort of being part of their friend group. But in the show, they actually go through the effort, like develop her a little more, because she approaches Mary first. And she's like, hey, you're friends with Yumiko, right? I've heard that she wants to challenge the president. Do you think you could put in a good word for me? The other episode is the discussion of Yumiko and the student council, because we get to see how a lot of the characters feel about the student council president, because she sort of disappears for the episode. Like, this is where we learn about Menuta's ambitions to become the student council president. This is where we learn about how much Sayaka cares for the student council president and is worried about the school. Menuta's more worried about it because Yumiko is upending the student council. The student council is the top of the school. They're not supposed to be easily beaten by someone who has just arrived on campus 5 seconds ago, but they are. Menuta even says the strong should stand on top and the weak should stay where they are below, and that's why they have this system at the school. And that's his interpretation of it, but that also shows you what kind of school it is. And Midari. I actually like Midari a lot better in the live action. Like, in the live action, they actually made me feel pity for her, which is so new. Unlike the anime where she's just kind of weird and perverted and weird. But the live action made me feel sorry for her because I just felt pity for the way that she is. When we first see Midari, who is the head of the beautification committee and also the one with the gun, I think it's been long enough that I can say that word. And also in the show, I think that they took all of the Yuri that they removed from all the other characters and just gave it to her. Because she's very sensual. She's not worse in the show, but she's just as bad sometimes. Because there's this scene that made me feel the same level of uncomfortable, which is kind of impressive. She like holds a gun to her head and she's like panting and moaning because she gets off on the thrill. She's basically an adrenaline junkie. The noises she was making, they were something. And it made me feel pity because I don't think in the anime they go into her backstory at all. They show, even back when she was in school, like before she ever came to the academy, that she was kind of broken inside. It's not like they show like, ah man, she had a terrible past and abusive parents. They show her like sitting alone on the steps in like a uniform. She was so unfulfilled with her life and unhappy that she came to the academy. And even then, she didn't seem to find any fulfillment in this weird and crazy place until she met the student council president. They were like, we're gonna make you into a house pet. She was like, so? Like, if you don't care about the system, it makes it very hard to feel the effects of the system. She's been chasing that thrill ever since, basically. And so when Yumiko comes to the school, she assumes that Yumiko's like her, that Yumiko is also gambling for the thrill of it. But that's not true at all. But it just made you feel like pity, like a puppy that's been alone its entire life and grows up into a dog that snaps at people and bites them immediately, and you just kind of feel bad for it. You're not gonna get close to it because it's going to bite you. It was that kind of feeling, and it's very weird because I felt pity for her when the anime just made me feel the same exact disgust that Yumiko did. And also, the actress from Midari, the commitment. She should have won, what's the Japanese equivalent of an Oscar? Anyway, I literally talked about the game when I wanted to talk about how they have her before. Because when we first meet Midari, it's in a cage. The student council's having a meeting and you literally just see her in a cage. And when I first watched the show, I was like, yeah, checks out, because she's an actual animal. In episode 8, no. Yes, episode 8, it's revealed that she's in the cage willingly. It's like she has her own room in the student council and she's constantly begging to go out and challenge Yumiko to a match, and it seems like they're keeping her there. Like she's this weird animal on the student council that has her own room because they can't let it free. But then in episode 8, she just walks out. She walks out and it's like, hey, can I go gamble Yumiko now? And because the student council president is gone, Menyuta is like, no. And she's like, oh, okay. Goes back in the cage, closes the door. It was really funny. I was like, oh. It also checks out for her personality and character that she would do that to herself. Something, the thrill of escaping, something, adrenaline. She challenges Yumiko. I mean, Menyuta eventually is like, yeah, go, follow your heart. And so she goes and she handcuffs Yumiko. And I actually really liked the room that they used. They went really creative with her. I didn't think I would ever say it, that the Midari part of the arc are a part of my favorite episodes. So Midari challenges her. She also has the beautification committee take Ryota. They sort of kidnap Yumiko in front of him and they're like, just take this one too. And he ends up being the dealer for their game. And it's basically, that part is basically the same as the anime. In this arc especially, they really embody these characters. Like Ryota is actually really good here, which makes me think like, what happened? It had to be a different director because I just don't believe it. The same person who wrote Ryota the way they did in the first 7 episodes wrote these 3 episodes. And he didn't say a single thing. He didn't start screaming about her losing money. But then again, in her bet with Midari, they didn't bet money. Midari makes her bet their lives as collateral. So I guess there was nothing for him to scream about. Like, it's not to say the first 7 episodes are bad. A lot of it is good. I just think Ryota by himself actively drags down the show. And in the show, they actually talk about class stuff. Yumiko, she talks about going to gym class, talks about what the cafeteria is serving, which makes it feel like a lot more of a school and not just a gambling castle. Like they gamble during free time and free period, but outside of that, it's an actual school. I do think this show is miles better than Bet though. And with that great segue, that's sort of all I have to say about the show. I would watch everything from episode 8 onward a second time. I don't think I'd mind that, except I might skip some of the idol stuff. Again, not the show's fault, but I don't think I could sit through that again. Mary in this, she's not blonde either. And I sort of see what they were going for, because until season 2 episode 1, we don't see the student council president's face. Like she's this imposing figure who always has her face like covered or blurred out. And I understand that they were going for the feeling, or at least it felt like to me, like they were going to make her otherworldly. But it also kind of falls flat because Runa, wow, that's crazy. Runa is blonde. It's not like the student council president is the only one with this unique hair, so she stands out that much more. I don't know why they made Mary brown haired. I still kind of wish she was blonde. If I did have to put a rating on it, I really, really liked those 3 episodes. That makes me really biased. To ask someone to be like, after the first 7 episodes, it gets better. That's asking a lot of a person. But at the same time, I really like those episodes because it really is asking a lot of a person. Be like, I promise you, bro. I promise you. Once you get to episode 8, you'll understand. But you know, it's your life. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't, don't. The live action, the Japanese live action has some banger music. The soundtrack is a banger. And I really like the way they did the intro. Like each mini arc gets its own unique intro featuring the characters that are in the arc. Even the one-off episodes get a unique intro. But back to what I was saying before I got distracted with the topic of this video. That's pretty much all I have to say about the live action. But there is something that I wanted to address, and it's Bet. Isn't it always Bet? It's because people seem to think that I want a one-to-one adaptation. And this is why I'm talking about it at the end, because it's basically me saying what I would have wanted Bet to look like. If all it takes to be connected to Kakegurui is gambling, then any death game anime set in high school where kids have to gamble their lives or gamble their power or gamble money in a death game, that's also Kakegurui by definition. It's just such a missed opportunity because American gambling is so different than Japanese gambling. We don't have pachinko here. Well, yes we do, but not the same. Like, Vegas will drain you dry, and they'll smile in your face while doing it. And then once you've lost everything, they'll be like, oh, well, we're closed. See you later. Like, it's very callous. The rules are different. Like, Texas Hold'em is played differently, I think, here. I would assume so. It's called Texas Hold'em. You have the opportunity to really take advantage of those differences to make a really, really compelling story. If you really wanted a revenge story, make someone take revenge for what the school did to them or their family members. Maybe the younger sibling of someone is old enough to go to this school and is determined to take down the student council and the president. Therefore, you still have your cake and eat it too if you really, really, really are so attached to the revenge story. Like, it's there, but instead you did this because, like, there's so many pieces right there and so much of an opportunity to tell a story that's different but still really does embody the spirit of the series. Or if you want to tell a more upbeat story that ignores like real life issues, you can just have the academy be about American gambling and literally ignore any pain and suffering, even though the anime doesn't. Oh my god, my voice is going. The anime itself shows it by the way they treat Mary. But, you know, if you really, really, you know, if deeper issues are really too hard for you, you can just focus on the gambling, and I feel like you'd still have a fun show if it's really that hard. But that's what I wanted to see out of an American Kakegurui. Instead, it's like my parents died in an explosion because there was this huge conspiracy because they made Bitcoin, and the rich families didn't like that, so they murdered them. Literally, they made Bitcoin and it made people mad. But I've exhausted everything that I wanted to and could say about the topic. I hope you enjoyed. This is what a lot of you wanted. My next video is going to be on Demon Slayer because you know what I can do to take advantage of the algorithm? I can release a Demon Slayer video when the movie comes out in the US. That's what I can do. So look forward to it. And if you don't like Demon Slayer, well, there's a video coming in October. See you guys next time. Later. The only reason why videos take so long is because editing sucks so much. It's like, you know what, maybe I feel like editing today, and then I start editing, and I'm like, oh, okay, I've taken 4 hours to get through 10 minutes of this 45-minute recording. Oh, great. The best part of making videos is recording. I'll give it a few days, let it marinate, and then I'll boot up Vegas, and then I'll start editing. And then I'm like, wow, maybe there won't be a video this month, actually.